Peace, peace. What's going on, my people? Greetings to all the souls and the soulettes out there. Quick video. I want to talk about advanced civilizations. And, I thought it was important because, we always get this idea of, going into nature, which is nothing is wrong with that. Especially during these times, these triumph times. It's all messed up. This system is all jacked up. Once upon a time, things was running authentically within this matrix. Everything then got perverted, which we all know for sure. Most importantly, I want to say that these cities and things like that, these buildings that have been built are for advanced beings. You know what I mean? We go into these cities, these businesses are functioning, but all of these businesses have been perverted and constructed by the beast's mindset. So, these advanced buildings were buildings that were advanced for higher beings. You know what I mean? And that's why you have the so-called white man and white woman living in these suburbs and stuff like that in these houses, because they are in animalistic environments. You know what I mean? We was always known to deal with agriculture, but we dealt with it whereas it was a separate section or area, whereas we do our agriculture and then we go back into our advanced civilizations. You know what I mean? So when you go into these suburbs and stuff like that, they have nothing but land and these big houses. You know what I mean? That's for them. We see, the thing is this: when we in the hood and stuff like that, that's why we got everything in our hands. You know what I mean? We even close together in these neighborhoods, what they call hoods, whereas we can build communities and be pillars, be pillars within our community. It's just the communication that we lack, you know what I mean? Because of the long term of distractions that took place in the past. So, just to be clear, we got to get out this mindset that we strictly deal with nature and dealing with the animals. That's part of it, but we was way advanced, you know what I mean? There are buildings that I know of that are in these cities that have been destroyed. They're still standing, but they have been destroyed. It's factories that have been ran by what they call African Americans, which they call black people. But they pay these places no never mind because it has high science within it, and then they perverted it with graffiti and stuff like that. These abandoned buildings. You know what I mean? They perverted everything. And another thing I want to add on is that as far as death is concerned, with these demons, and we're going to go off topic a little bit, these demons, what they do is, they lead you into the destruction of death, the lane, the path of death. You know what I mean? But they don't have no permission of killing you. These demons, what they do is they're energy suckers. You know what I mean? They suck the life force out of you, and then the higher beings decide whether they want to kill you or not. You know what I mean? Because the demons don't have power over you dying. You know what I mean? You got to be a willing sacrifice or participant in leading into your own demise. You know what I mean? You basically got to give the permission to these demons to lead you astray from your authentic, organic path. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. So, these demons, they don't really have power over you unless you let them. You know what I mean? And then once they lessen your energy, lower your energy, that's where the higher guys determine whether, you know, you are a worthy being on a planet, or you just, your fate is your fate as far as death. You know what I mean? Because you serve no purpose. You know, those stars you see up in the sky and things like that, those are what they call angelic beings. You know what I mean? That be watching. They are the watchers. The watchers are still in effect, for sure. Still in effect. They still out here overseeing what's going on, what's taking place. And not to mention, they can see things in advance, but what they do is they know your future, but to a degree, what they do is they give you free will, whereas they give you the free will, and then they determine whether you're worthy or not. And these are beings who are not control freaks. They not built on controlling things. You know what I mean? They can foresee your situation before it happened, but to a degree, they put that to the side because they respect the universal, what they call universal law of free will, giving people the choices, the the choices to make what they need to make as far as what's necessary. So that's what it is. What choices you decide will determine your future. You know what I mean? Excuse me being tongue tied and all of that. You know. So I think it was something else I wanted to speak on. Let's get back to these advanced civilizations, man. They, I had a conversation with one of the brothers, Gaia Earth. Shout out to him. Always been thorough. Always been trying to feed the people knowledge and health and awareness. Salute to him. The reality is that we realize that it's a lot of and we've been realized that it's a lot of simulators out here, an abundance of consumers that just work through programs that's just willing to be their purpose. They there to simulate. They not there to really support, uplift, spread messages and stuff like that. And that's why there is a chosen few that lead into this path of spreading the knowledge that's necessary for other souls to know and to consume. Because if it was a widespread thing, everybody be moving different. But that's what I'm saying. There are exclusive beings on the planet that's there to spread the message to those that's necessary to to hear, to grasp on. You know what I mean? Folks that's necessary to hear, that have eyes to see, ears to hear. You know what I mean? And speak less when when necessary. So it is what it is. But the advanced civilizations was always by and how the higher beings always live, because we are advanced futuristic beings. You know what I mean? So long down the run, they making what they doing is the so-called white man and white woman. They want to go into the cities now. You know what I mean? The cities that you paid your hard-earned tax money to help these niggas build. You know what I mean? They want to inhabit that. Meanwhile, they want to keep y'all in the jungle with the houses in the suburbs. You know what I mean? That's what they want to do. They want to switch places with, because so-called black race then took things for granted, man. They took things for granted. And that's what I'm saying. We was busy trying to be like the beast, trying to live in these big land houses. And you know what? If you want to live somewhere, whereas you live in when you have a large amount of land mass, we actually supposed to be living in castles. We not supposed to be living in houses like that. You know what I mean? Unless you have a hierarchy within your community as far as the gods and goddesses out there. I mean, that's different. There's ways, like, see, the thing is this, like, we could have been constructing all of that. All these houses that's built in these cities, within these hoods, we could have reconstructed all, but we was busy getting high, getting drunk, having aimless sex, strip clubs, stealing from each other, murdering each other on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? That's what our people was on. The distraction. And not only that, you got these rubber face killers out here. You know what I mean? You got these beasts out here wearing rubber face black masks. You know what I mean? Masks that represents black people. You know what I mean? Not so much represent black people, but masking up like a black person. You know what I mean? A black person face mask. You know what I mean? Going around murdering, selling drugs or whatever to help distract, the main purpose in us building. You know what I mean? It's crazy. You know what I mean? But those advanced civilizations, that's why people think that the real estate game is, simple. It never been simple. You know what I mean? All of that is being constructed as well. As far as the fluctuations of prices and stuff like that on the property. Some people conduct murders and stuff like that so the property value can go down. Real estate is sort of like the drug game. You know what I mean? They control the market with it as well as the drugs and stuff like that. People kill just to get a person's property, own that property, end up buying it. It's a funny game. Monopoly is a crazy game. You can get murked behind that. If you don't play your cards right, if you don't head up in the right direction of what area you finna, take over, it's a crazy game. But they kept the murders going so they can distract us in these neighborhoods, because you have people out there that want to build the communities, but it's just the bad outweigh the good. You know what I mean? The dysfunctional people is more dysfunctional beings in those neighborhoods than it is genuine beings that actually want to build something. You know what I mean? They go hard with assisting the beast. All they want to do is take, consume, dress all nice, you know what I mean, stunt, and don't even build a damn thing, you know what I mean? That's what they do. That's what they do. That's all black people do. They just want to be they want to be that man. They want to be that beast. You know what I mean? While you busy trying to be like them, they want to be like you. You know what I mean? They want to have the lips. They want to have the nose. They want to have the eyes. You know what I mean? And that's the thing about us people, man. We got unique signatures that signifies gods. You know what I mean? Especially the eyelashes. Most of the gods and goddesses out there, they got thick eyelashes because those are antennas that go through the eyes. You know what I mean? that transport energy from the eyelashes onto the eyelids, onto the eyebrows, onto the pineal gland. You know what I mean? It all circulates that shield too on the eyes. You know what I mean? Within the eye sockets and things like that. You know what I mean? Our eyes are crystals. You know, it is what it is, but it has been a lot of distortion. It always has been, and it's not going to change, you know, until things take its course, you know, and it will happen soon, you know what I mean? Because the frequencies are moving high. You know, those gamma rays is moving through this damn planet, you know what I mean? It's been more spring days than it is winter days, you know what I mean? Then they tried to do a sneak attack on the snow. Like, nah. Like, my whole intake was, I'm not conjuring up that thought. Like, I got people telling me, oh, you know, it's about to snow. Folks all in panic, or they all ecstatic. And I'm like, no, you know, I'm not finna conjure up that energy. The hell with that snow. You know what I mean? I'd rather it rain than it is snow. You know what I mean? Because when it's snow, that means the frequency low because of the those ions is just low energy. You know what I mean? The cold signifies low energy. You know what I mean? Low freaking energy. But yeah, we the advanced beings who build cities. We part of cities. You know what I mean? That's why when you go up, when you see these skyscrapers, stuff like that, we build things that's up on high. That it's sort of like in representation of what the sun is. You know what I mean? For sure, there's cities there. You know what I mean? On a high frequency. It's just what's up there. It's a fake version down here. You know what I mean? So when we do things, we do it on a high level. They got y'all thinking the inner cities is bad and stuff like that. That's because they've been programming you to you know, be an enemy to yourself. They programmed us to be enemies to our own, you know, masonry, so to speak, because we the authentic Masons. You know what I mean? They done took our stuff and just perverted everything, man. Seriously. You know, to the point where as though it became horrific. They made it horrific to you. They perverted it to you so you can say, oh, I'm not about that. I'm not about this. You know what I mean? I'm nothing but just a, you know, I'm nothing but just a human being. Stuff like that. You more advanced than a human being. You know what I mean? You bigger than a human being. You're the pure soul energy within the body. You know what I mean? You more advanced. But these cities, man, it's abandoned buildings that should be falling down, that never fell down since it got built because of the type of stones that was built. And you know, gods and goddesses built it because of the symbols and stuff like that, and what it represented, you know, and what business it was. You know, it's banks that have been built by gods and goddesses that have been all forgotten, graffitied all up. They got our symbols all on it, but they don't have you. It's there and plain as day, but it's vacant. It's abandoned, but they got all these low signified businesses that's built around it, whereas though you're not even paying attention of these type of what they call monuments and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's basically ruins on the city streets. You know what I mean? Actually, it ain't just ruins out on in Egypt and stuff like that. This stuff be in inner cities and it be vacant and don't nobody pay it no mind. They cover it up with little sheets and gates and stuff like that. But come on, our stuff are still here. The pyramids it's not the only ones that's in ruins. It's in your inner city. You just gotta pay attention. You know what I mean? You just gotta pay attention. It's out there for sure. You know what I mean? Stuff that we built already. That's still out there in our faces, and we pay it no mind because they got these phone stores, they got these restaurants, you know what I mean? They got these hospitals, they got these clothing stores, they got these nasty ass food markets, you know what I mean? That's feeding you poison on a daily, you know what I mean? Garbage food. This food is garbage, you know what I mean? Soy, this nasty meat, you know what I mean? Filthy, from filthy animals, you know? And these cats, they still eating pork. They still at these nasty behind restaurants, man. Like they see, people don't know, like we actually in triumph times, and they still participating in illusion heavy. That's cause you know why? Because they there to simulate. They wasn't real in the first place. And another thing I want to add on to people who smoking weed, you know, you smoking dead leaves. The reason why it sustained its body is because it's chemicals within the weed. It's chemicals within that apparatus, you know, that you call weed, the bud, you know, what you call a bud. You know what I mean? That's dead leaves, you know what I mean? Dead herbs. You know what I mean? You smoking on the dead, and not only that, your blunt wrap is dead. You know what I mean? They killed that damn leaf, you know what I mean, from that tree. You know what I mean? Some of that stuff come from the tree. You know what I mean? Which they call a leaf, a blunt leaf. It's dead leaves, man. It's dead. They beat that damn thing to a damn pulp, beat it up. You know what I mean? Put the little chemicals, rub the chemicals all on the sheet of the damn leaf. You know what I mean? It's dead. You know what I mean? It's dead. So you smoking the dead and you conjuring up death. You know what I mean? You conjuring up the dead. You know? Conjuring up the dead. So you doing a ritual. You doing a ritual. Every time you light that blunt, you doing a ritual and you conjuring up demons. And they next to you feeding off your energy. And feeding off that damn weed you smoking. It makes them feel good. And then they feed off of you more off the damn bad food you eat right after that. Because I know for sure when you sit there smoking that weed, you ain't trying to eat no healthy food like that. Because the moment you smoke that weed like that, you already like on a path of destruction. You know what I mean? But yeah, us higher beings, you know what I mean? Soul beings, we about those advanced cities. And what they trying to do is they trying to kick out the so-called black race and occupy y'all space and time because they want to work close to their jobs and you know, well, no, not work close to their jobs. They want to live near their jobs, whereas they can just walk to work or whatever. You know what I mean? Everything is to their disposal. Like it's to the point where as though like where I grew up, they damn near giving you a ticket where as though, you know, you got to park a certain hour. You got to have a certain permit to park on a certain block now. You know, back in the day, it wasn't like that. Now it's exclusive to those who live in the neighborhood. And if you are visiting, you gotta pay a meter or some sort. You gotta pay for the meter for your car to be there for a certain amount of time. You know what I mean? It's different. You know what I mean? They advancing these neighborhoods now. And they want to put y'all in the land where y'all want to be. Y'all want to plant y'all feet and all that type of stuff in the ground. That's keeping you grounded. You know what I mean? Planting your feet in the ground is keeping you grounded. You know what I mean? It's one way to be grounded where as though your energy is stable, and then it's another way where you trying to really plant yourself on earth when you supposed to be ascending. You supposed to be vibrating higher than earth. I mean, let's be realistic. You supposed to be vibing higher than earth. You know what I mean? And the whole point of becoming a light body being is to ascend with those higher beings, to do the work. You know what I mean? To create these planets and manifest life and be that higher being that you was ought to be. The reason why you're down here, because you mix your seed. You know what I mean? Or y'all decided to do a specific work, you know what I mean, to wake up the, particular beings so that, so they can follow through the necessary road of ascension. You know what I mean? You had to come here to do a task that you agreed upon. You agreed upon whatever you wanted to. It was your choice. You know what I mean? We can't sit up here and blame the beast when we sit up there and created and manifested this problem in the first place. You know what I mean? We can't blame nobody but ourselves to a degree. You know what I mean? We taught these bastards everything they know, but at the end of the day, though, I know for sure that they getting help from other beings, higher beings, from another sect. You know what I mean? Another sector. You know what I mean? They getting help for sure. But I'm closing out on this video. Continue to get your souls intact. Do not be dismantled by these distractions, by these people out here that want to see you down, want to put you low. You know what I mean? Be aware of these damn demons, because they definitely roaring like a damn lion out here, fiending to feed off your energy. You know what I mean? But I'm out. Peace and salute. 9 is it, 9 ascension.